welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and I finally, these leapt to the front of my queue. This is the wonderful Border Wars figures from Ian at Flags of War. You'll have seen the unboxing I did, possibly. I'll link to it here. But the Kickstarter that Ian launched, which was sort of the first range of his figures, plus the rules and all the tokens you need and some animals for the wonderful Border Wars period. And it's a fascinating period, and I've been reading up around it because, like you do, you get a bit of a bug about it. And, you know, it was basically the sort of vendettas, the raids, and the general lawlessness that went on between a lot of the border families in northern England, southern Scotland, along the borders there, hence the border wars, to steal. It was general lawlessness. There was no government control, or very limited government control, and the families took advantage of that to steal, do whatever they liked. And then when other people did things they didn't like, they'd go and take a vendetta out against them. And a great scenery for backdrop for sort of a war game, skirmish game. And that's what these figures are from. So this is the Cavalry Patrol. This is the first section of figures that he produced. I did show off. He did send me a couple of figures in advance, so I saw how good these were, and then I was all in on the Kickstarter when it came to go up up for sale. And they don't disappoint. These figures are absolutely lovely. You get these 5 cavalrymen. You have the hero, or the lord, his hero, and then some other hangers-on. One with a crossbow, one with a pistol, and a couple with spears. And they're just beautiful. Really, really enjoyed doing them. Great fun, lovely sculpting on them, and I think they come out really nicely. I've gone colourful, seem to be very colourful at the moment in my painting styles, not sure why, but I am. Now the only thing I've done, sorry if you can hear the rain, it's blowing a hooey, very Scottish. What I have done with these, which I'm not sure whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, is that these figures have a dismounted version of them, and I kind of was thinking, shall I paint them exactly the same, so that they, you know, if they get dismounted in the combat, you could just put another figure in. And I thought, sod it, I'll just carry on doing as I'm doing and just enjoying painting. So I didn't do that in the end, but made them colourful, made them good, and I'm really pleased with the painting style, and I'm quite delighted with the figures. I think they've come out beautifully. So that's the Cavalry. And so these are the cows and sheep that came in the Kickstarter. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8 cows and 4 sheep. I spent some time just sort of working my way through images of sort of ancient breeds of Scottish cows. I can't remember what they are now, because I'd probably tell you, but they are actually breeds that you do see, or still exist in most cases, but were also in existence during the Elizabethan time when the border wars were on. And I just painted them up like that, so at least I can say, well, they're sort of in keeping. Notice no Highlanders, no Highland cattle, which is, I think, what everyone would imagine. But there was quite a few. I think one was Ayrshires. I don't know. There's something else. But anyway, my internet browsing history has suddenly got very much more interesting, looking at ancient breeds of cows. So these are the villagers that you got in the Kickstarter. So you have the 2 children with their hobby horses and sticks, and one with a cooking pot on his head. The milkmaid here, well, water maid as I've done her, just holding a bucket of water there, and the guy with his pitchfork, the father, so I guess it's father, mother and 2 kids. Very, very modern family size. And again, they're just lovely figures. Great fun to play, great fun to paint up, and detail on them was absolutely awesome. Again, maybe a little bit too bright. Certainly the purple waistcoat on the farmer might not be in keeping with what they would have worn in that period, but hey, they're my figures and I'm doing them how I like. So there you go, that's them. So this is the Envoy. the Envoy that comes in the Kickstarter pack. I think it's fair to say these are based on the Blackadder characters, Blackadder himself and Percy and Baldric from, I think it's Blackadder 2. They're great fun, and that's all I saw when I got these out of the box. In fact, the Baldric figure, if you noticed my unboxing video, just made me sort of stop in my tracks as I was opening the box, because it's just such an awesome figure. I've done Blackadder as I would imagine him to be, or certainly from the pictures you see, and Percy from this picture here. So I did struggle with the faces, particularly of Percy. It's nothing to do with the model, I don't think. It's more to do with my painting. That I've had two or three goes at it, and it still looks a bit like some kind of mad panda. It's just my inability to paint rather than the figure, I think. They'll have to do for now. I may have another go at it, but it almost needs the paint stripping off and restarting, which I'm definitely not going to do. Lovely figures, as all these Kickstarter figures are. They have quite an interesting role within the game. They're an option, and basically they are envoys from Elizabeth up to the Scottish King to talk through all kinds of business. So they have their own stats within the game, which is tremendous fun, and they're nice models. They're really, really nice models. So I can't wait to see them feature on some of my games. There you go, Blackadder, Baldric, and Lord Percy completed. So this is the foot group from the Kickstarter. So again, some beautiful molds, and you can see a couple of the figures. This guy here are identical to the ones that you get on the horse varieties. I think the guy with the spear at the back there is the guy with the crossbow on the horseback figures, but I just did them how I wanted to. As I say, I didn't sort of try and marry them up. You got the guy here with the musket, or arquebus, or whatever it is. Love this guy here. Very, very good with his sort of glaive stroke polearm. Just awesome figures. Absolutely lovely figures. And, I'm not a painter, but sometimes you just get figures, we just really enjoy painting them. And certainly that was the case with these fellas. Very pleased with how they've come out. Love the detail that they have within them. And quite pleased with the impact they have on the table. And we'll try out the rules and see what they're like, but I can't wait to give them a go. So having worked my way through all the Kickstarter figures, I then sort of worked through some other figures that I had for this period. So these are 5 sort of, I guess, lords and ladies that I picked up a little while ago in advance of the Kickstarter from Assault Group. They do a range of border stuff, and I just thought they would be useful to supplement the figures I knew that were coming, because I know Ian plans a future load of figures coming through, but at the moment the range is fairly limited. You get those, those 5 cavalrymen, those whatever it is, 8 infantrymen, and the villagers and the Blackadder figures, and that's about it. But I just wanted a few more figures to play with, and while I was ordering something a while back, some Italian War stuff, I think, from Assault Group, I picked up this pack, and they're not a patch on Ian's figures, but they paint up reasonably nicely. They're quite chunky, and the detail comes out quite well. I've done the eyes, which makes them, under this light, make them look really, really angry. But they'll fit in fine. And then I also picked up these Reavers. I think this is the Armstrong family from Hoka War Games, which was a company I sort of knew because when I was hunting around for other manufacturers to complement Flags of War range, I saw that they did a number of different packs, and so I picked up a couple of them here, and they're quite reasonable. They're £9.50 for 2, 4, 6 figures. They're a bit chunkier than than Ian's. There you go, they're side by side. But they paint up quite nicely, and I think just so I've got another faction or some other families, I guess, to play out games against while I'm waiting for Ian's next range to come through, I think will be useful indeed. And you know, they have some. They're actually quite nice figures. This Armstrong family, you obviously get 2 guys with the spears, a couple with shields, and then the guy with the musket. The pistol. Another one with shield, with sword and breastplate. And yeah, enjoyed painting them. Did the eyes again, which is something I don't always do, but I think it gives them that sort of really angry look, which I want for my Scottish and English Northerners to fight it out in their little feuds. That's them done. So these are another group of Hokahay miniatures. It's actually the Houndsman and his dogs. They actually come with 2 dogs, but I got a bonus of a 3rd. Not quite sure why, it was just in the pack. But a little note saying bonus hound. I feel a bit cruel to say that, given they gave me an extra dog, but I'm not actually overly keen on these figures. I think the dogs are a bit cartoony, and the Houndsman is very old school. Sculpting, shall we say? So I'm not particularly enamoured with them. But the Houndsman and his or Huntsman and the Houndsman, or whatever you want to call it, does have a role to play in the game, which is why I picked up this pack when I was buying those other Hokahay figures, which I do prefer, or do like. But I picked this one up, and I'm a little bit disappointed. So when Ian does do his own Houndsman and Hounds, I will almost certainly pick them up. But for the moment, if I need him in the game, this figure will be a good replacement, I guess. And then we'll swap him out in due course. But yeah, there you go, done. And then finally, another Hokahay wargaming group. I think this is another family. Oh no, this is something like the Condemned Men or something like that. They're basically outlaws. They're all archers, as you can see. I don't think I'm ever going to need that many archers in the game, but that's how the pack comes, and I just thought they could be useful in some games. Again, they're not really in scale with the... yeah, not really in the same scale, but no, never mind. They'll come out nicely, and they'll do for the time being, as I say, until I can replace them with some of Ian's other sculpts. Now, that said, the faces are actually come out pretty well. I'm quite pleased with how they've come out on these. The bodies are quite chunky. Again, I've used a bit more muted colours on these fellas, which I quite like, and yeah, quite pleased with how they've come out, to be honest. So that's some more figures to play out, and when I'm test playing the rules, it'd be useful to have a couple of extra groups to use alongside the Ian's initial Kickstarter figures. So there you go. That's where I am with my Border Reavers figures. Plenty painted up, ready to have a go at the rules and see how they play out. I do like the look of them. I've read through them a few times. They've got some nice mechanics on them, which I think should work quite well. The emphasis of the game is on kind of raiding more than killing. That's really their purpose. I mean, there are some scenarios in the book which are more around, you know, taking revenge and taking down some of the opposition, but the main way the rules play out, or appear to, is around, you know, getting in, getting out with a minimum of fuss, mainly because, you know, if they go around killing everybody in sight, then they're definitely going to attract the attention of the government forces, who will have to come and stamp down on their activities. So loved painting all these up, and as you can see, I went a bit mad. They all leapt to the front of the queue, because, as I say, I really want to have a go with these rules, and over the Christmas period, that should be perfect to have a quick game, nip out of the house and have a game while nobody's paying attention. But there you go, that's that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Let me know in the chat if you've if you've subscribed to the Kickstarter and are waiting for your figures, or you've got them and you've painted them up, what do you reckon to them? Have you played any games yet? That's the next question. Can't wait to have a go myself. I think it's going to be great fun. So I don't know whether I'll put another video up before Christmas. If I don't, have a great Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year. Thanks for all the support over the last year and before that, of course. And I look forward to putting some content up in the new year and seeing some of you at shows and CrackCon and so forth. So stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.